So this is the campfire story about Humvee.
I used to have, flip clocks? The inside of the clock is a bunch of little cards. It's like a Rolodex. And when it ticks over to the next number, it goes click and it flips down.
So it's a bunch of different cards that flip over.
Yeah, basically.
Automatically based on the time.
I had one of those. It's this ancient alarm clock. It used a little tiny incandescent bulb to illuminate the inside of the alarm clock.
What the? I'm an ancient vampire and I don't know about that one. I think I know what he's referring to, but also like, what the heck?
It seems very niche, very little campy thing.
Well, it was from like the 80s. That's not why I had it, but it was from the 80s.
That's not why I had
I'm pretty sure it may have been like my mom's alarm clock when she was in college, and I was just like, this is what I'm using.
Oh my god.
That would go
Okay, side note though, I'm still using my mom's alarm clock. Is this a thing?
off, and there was one morning that it went off. I can sleep through almost anything.
Yes, you can.
There was one morning where it went off, and I like grabbed it and just threw it across the room.
And it shattered into 1,000,000 cards.
No, it continued working. So that thing was damn near indestructible. There was another morning where I woke up. I was late for whatever it was. I couldn't figure out why my alarm hadn't gone off. I also couldn't figure out where my alarm clock was. Had no idea where my alarm clock had gone. Went into the closet to get a shirt. Opened the closet door, and at the bottom of the closet was
a mess of screws and
a
parts.
big bundle of blanket. I had taken the alarm clock,
Wow.
unplugged it from the wall, wrapped it in a blanket, and thrown it into the closet while I was asleep.
Jesus Christ. Dude, that is creative. I don't hear my alarms, period. Like, unless I know for sure, for a fact, that I am going to, like, need to be there, right? Like, it's important. I will sleep through my alarms and not hear them, not do anything, not even turn them off. Nope, not at all. The only time that I can quote-unquote hear it, and not even, usually I wake up before my alarm, is when I know I need to do something important. Like, whenever I had exams, I would just wake up, just be like, I gotta go.
You were so tired, you don't even remember.
Did I ever tell you about about me sleeping through a mortar attack?
You were boarded quite a few times. I don't remember you sleeping through one.
You were boarded a few times, but didn't remember to sleep. Oh my god. Bro, I sleep through earthquakes. Like,
we got mortared multiple times, and one of the things that our unit started doing was when we started getting mortared at nighttime, because we were in a barracks, a long building, rooms on one side, rooms on the other side, one big hallway that goes all the way down there, and then it stairs upwards to a second floor, which was more of the same. So when we started getting mortared, they got everybody to come out of their rooms into the hallway so they could get accountability of who all was there, which I thought was a really fucking stupid idea.
What? You mean because we're all now in one long corridor?
Because now we're all in one long corridor, and if a mortar comes straight through the roof, it's going through the roof, down, and it's going to detonate in the hallway and just send shrapnel ricocheting down this hallway made of cinder blocks.
Well, how else would you have gotten accountability?
Go open the door to their room and check to see if they're there.
I guess. Maybe everyone stands in the doorway and reports that everyone is there.
I don't know. There's definitely a better way to do it.
I mean, the easiest way would be just to have one hand from every personnel and you just count them and you can like go from each one. I would have thought that's the easiest way.
Other than, cluster up, boys, they can't hit all of us at once.
Unless they use a single mortar, yep.
Anyway, I got real tired of doing that. One, because I would just straight up sleep through mortar attacks. And two, I was like, this is stupid, we're all gonna die.
If I'm gonna die, I'm not gonna die tired.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, also, what if we're getting mortared and I'm asleep? Why are you waking me up so that I can die awake?
What do you want me to do about it? Yeah, I'll go shoot down the mortar.
Yeah, let me die in my sleep, jackass. Anyway, do you remember like the early invasion of Iraq when...
That wasn't there.
Do you remember the whole big deal with up-armored Humvees?
It sounds...
I don't know what's worse. Like, do you remember? I wasn't there, but do you remember that? But I wasn't there.
Very familiar to me.
When we first invaded Iraq, we went into Iraq with the most inadequate shit.
I do see
about right.
Something about body armor too.
After hearing the entire story about like having to organize with the cupboard and everything, and the anger management lesson, I'm like, yeah, inadequate sounds about right.
The body armor was all woodland camo. Most of the uniforms were woodland camo initially. So we're in the middle of a desert wearing woodland camo with like...
Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously? It was the literally no one that went, maybe woodland doesn't sound good? Really? Really? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but this is why? Why, dear Lord, why? It's camo though. Yeah.
Green.
M81 woodland camo vests. Which, I mean, I love woodland camo. Don't get me wrong, M81 woodland is amazing. It's like my favorite, it's one of my favorite camo patterns of all time. But it's not suitable for a fucking desert.
Right.
The other thing was, we went in there with Humvees that literally had like the nylon door. It was just a metal frame with a nylon door and a plastic window that folded down.
What? What? A plastic window. Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then we got the fiberglass doors.
Ah, yes.
So there was a big deal about, like, these soldiers are in Iraq with doors that this Humvee literally has 0 armor on it. Like, if you threw a baseball hard enough, you probably could get it to go through the... Oh my god, what is his name? What is the fucking baseball player's name that
Babe Ruth?
No, that obliterated a bird with his pitching.
I'm sure
What?
that's not what he wants to be known for.
He was...
Someone obliterated a bird with their pitching? Jesus Christ. I don't want to know them.
pitched real fast. Anyway, if that dude pitched a baseball at the side of one of these Humvee doors, I'm sure he could get the baseball, just go book and punch a hole clean through the door.
Just throw the baseball through the door, huh?
The dude had like a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It's like he could do it. Anyway, so they started just making doors out of sheet metal, which sucks. It's like, that's not gonna stop an EFP, but it's better than nothing, I guess.
I guess.
Oh, sorry. EFP is an explosively formed projectile.
So we were slapping metal on Humvees, just any kind of metal, dude.
Yeah, basically.
What the heck? What the heck, man? They got sent in there with inappropriate armor, and then they had, do-it-yourself the vehicles?
Piece of metal.
During the early global war on terror in Operation Iraqi Freedom, they were just slapping whatever they could find on the side of Humvees.
And the people that got sent there, they were just kind of like, sir, yes, sir, about it? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I definitely could never be in the military. I would object. I was just like, what the fuck, man? What is wrong with you? I'd rather be known as the person that objected about the lack of logic in what's happening than die because of the incompetency of the people that sent me there. I honestly, I think I would take that route. Damn, I have even more respect for people that had to be there for putting up with that shit.
Just anything. Like, legitimately, soldiers were piling sandbags in the bottom of the Humvee to absorb something.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll absorb some shrapnel.
Wow.
Because these early Humvees, during the early global war on terror, you could straight up take out a Humvee with a single hand grenade.
Oh, man.
That's pretty pathetic.
It's pretty terrible.
It's
Do you
really
think they
bad.
were designed that way because they weren't expecting to use them in that kind of combat?
No, because
Who the heck would you, even if they were designed like that, who the heck would send them in Iraq of all places with them?
all the Humvees that the military was using, we had been using since like the 1980s. It's not a frontline combat vehicle. It's not an armored personnel carrier. You're just using this thing, this Jeep, as like basically just a utility truck. You're just transporting stuff from A to B. And A to B usually does not include a front line anywhere. Also, by not putting a bunch of armor on it, it's slightly faster, so hopefully if you do encounter any enemies, you can kind of just go, and drive away really quickly.
Not when you have to patch it with metal. Oh my god, this sounds horrible, man. Absolutely horrible. It's even worse that the army gets new stuff and Marines get the old used stuff. Oh my god, Jesus. I was like, the more you hear about the army, like the US Army stuff, the more I'm just like, what the fuck, man? It's like, who's in charge of all of that? Why? Is bureaucracy like that big there as well? Like, is it stuck in paperwork where just people just don't care? It really does make you question what exactly is happening. Like, why are these things happening? Why is it in that state left like that?
Also, you probably should have a dude on
Money. Bruh. It's always money, sure, but this is the one thing you should maybe put the money in.
in the back with a 50 and then he could like shoot at him, so whatever. That doesn't really work when you're in a urban environment and you're fighting asymmetric warfare, i.e. a bunch of insurgents who are planting fuck-off landmines on the side of the road.
Yeah, it seems like the Humvees were designed for conventional warfare, not to combat insurgencies or partisan participants.
Yeah, exactly. They were
Like, how should I put it, right, chat? It's just like, when it comes to money, a lot of the times here projects get funded or things get funded, but that funding doesn't actually go into funding the thing it's funding. I'm sorry for the weird sentence. It kind of like, all that money that's supposed to reach a goal of getting something done is somehow funneled in a way that it goes through so many hands and so many things that by the time you're supposed to have money to spend on something, you no longer have that money to spend on something because it vanished, right? Like some other party took it, some other place got used. Yeah, it's funding the pockets of officials. And I know that happens a lot in my country. So I'm like, does that happen for like the military stuff as well? Like, is corruption that big there too? It's fascinating. Okay, I know that the entire world works like that, right? Where corruption follows the money and where you siphon money, right, from things. But there's a level of how should I put it? God, I'm missing the word. Where you're kind of like not taking too much, right? Like where you're sensible about it, where you're kind of like secret about it, where you're just taking a tiny bit, right? Not being a greedy pig that just takes everything. So yeah, that's mostly like my question when it comes to whether the US corruption is that bad, because like there's a difference between some money gets to the project and no money gets to the project and most of the money gets to the project, right? For us, most of the money does not get to the project. That's the level of corruption we're at, right? Don't make the crime too big and you'll never get caught. Exactly, right? Like there's a certain class when it comes to scheming on top, right? And some people just like make it too obvious or like take too much, and to the point where like you're endangering people and sending them with inappropriate gear. At that point it's like taking too much. So it makes me question like what the heck is happening, which part of the circuit is failing, where's the big wound, right? Where is it festering at? The US is notorious for making the best and most expensive equipment, not giving any of it to its troops. That's sad, honestly. Officer rage. That is sad.
were designed for conventional warfare, and they weren't ever supposed to be frontline vehicles.
My initial thought was, how did we not learn anything from Operation Desert Storm in the 90s? But at the same time, that was more of a conventional war too, wasn't it?
That was more of a conventional war against a very underpowered enemy. You didn't have Humvees doing frontline combat. Maybe you had some Humvees doing scout duty? Anyway, one of the things that they did when they were up-armoring vehicles is they ordered these huge, these massive blankets made of Kevlar. It's just 100 layers of Kevlar. It's a lot. These blankets are maybe an inch thick.
Wow, it's a lot.
It's a lot of Kevlar. And they would take those and they would use tin snips to cut them up and fit them and put them in the bottom of a Humvee so that, again, it could absorb some shrapnel.
Right.
What?
The Humvee might still be wrecked, but hopefully the soldiers inside are still alive.
Hopefully you don't get a chunk of shrapnel the size of your fist coming through the bottom of the Humvee and going up your asshole. A molten copper enema is not exactly the most fun thing.
I wouldn't imagine so.
Yeah.
Thanks for that vivid description, I guess. I think he had a lot of time to think about all the ways that his butt could get affected.
So there were a bunch of these extra Kevlar blankets that were left over sitting in the motor pool, just stacks of them. And I was sick of constantly being woken up in the middle of the night, because there was a period for about a good 2 months that we would get mortared anywhere from 2 to 4 times a day, every single day. And then it would go 2 days where we wouldn't get mortared, and chain of command would be like, okay, if we don't get mortared today, this is the 3rd day. If we don't get mortared today, you don't have to wear your flak vest and Kevlar every time you go outside.
Okay, seems weird.
Well, because we had to wear it every time we went outside because we could get mortared at any point.
You probably...
I mean, you still would want it even after 3 days. What kind of logic is that?
still will after 3 days of not being mortared, though.
Well, because one of the things that we got really good at was triangulating exactly where the mortar came from within seconds of it being fired. We had really good firefinder systems that could calculate it within seconds of being fired. And I'm just now remembering enough.
It sucks wearing it 24/7. It does, but at the same time, it's still your life, isn't it? Isn't it?
A side tangent. we had these firefinder systems that are these big panels. They're like big radar panels that they put on top of buildings. Mm-hmm. Somebody got a little remote-controlled helicopter, and they thought it would be funny to fly one of those around. Mm. So they were flying it around in front of the firefinder system, and the firefinder system thought it was an incoming mortar, so it just starts going, bam, bam, bam,
oh
incoming,
my God.
incoming, bam, bam, bam. It's so like everyone's running, and this dude with the helicopter's like, oh, fuck, and just drops it and runs away. Anyway.
Yeah, and he got pinned for that.
Wow.
I don't know if they actually figured out who did it, but they were basically just like, no more flying helicopters outside here.
Oh my God! Can you imagine being the person that did that to an entire base? I'd be mortified, man. Oh God.
Makes sense.
Anyway, so we got real good at pinpointing where incoming fire was coming from.
So you would attack the location where the fire came from, and you would assume...
Yes, well, we would either send a QRF, which is a quick reaction force. We would either send a QRF out to where the mortar site was if it was close enough to try to stop them, or we would just do counter battery fire and fire mortars back at them. The insurgents very quickly figured out that's what we were doing. One of the things they did is they would take mortars. They would take a mortar. So you know how a mortar works?
You basically launch it from a tube.
Yeah, you basically have a tube on the ground. You hold the mortar over the top of it. You let go of it. It slides down the tube, hits the firing pin, and launches the mortar out. What they would do is they would set up 10 mortar systems in like one location. And the day before, they would take each mortar and put it in a bucket of water and then freeze it.
Oh my God.
I was actually gonna guess that, but then I thought, no, that's a stupid thing to guess. There's no ice out there. They have no access to ice.
So they got refrigerators.
What do you mean they don't have access to ice? It might be a desert, but like, they do have ice. What the fudge, man? That's creative.
So what they would do is they would set up like 10 mortar tubes, get them relatively zeroed, and then bail. And then throughout the day, as the ice begins to melt, the mortars start sliding down the tubes and going off. If the U.S. does counter battery fire, there's nothing there to hit. They hit a bunch of empty mortar tubes.
I guess, yeah, we're just kind of counter battery fire is a waste of resources.
So because we
realized
they were doing that, we would figure out where the mortars were coming from. We would look down there with a drone, abandon mortar tubes. We just wouldn't do counter battery fire. We just kind of stopped responding to it. Just ignore it.
Okay.
Just be like, well.
Hey, even though they're dropping mortars on us, just ignore it. Pretend it's not happening.
Okay.
And then after a good 3-4 weeks of that, they were like, they're not doing anything anymore. That means we can launch as many mortars as we want with impunity. So one day, they go out there, and they started mortaring us for probably about a good 20 minutes.
Jeez.
Just constant boof, boof, boof. These things are just going off constantly.
There is value in varying up your tactics.
Yep. The only problem is, because we would look with a drone to see what was going on, we could see that there were like 20 guys out there just launching mortars at us. So they flew over with Apaches and turned the entire area into mulch.
Oh,
gee.
Okay.
And then we didn't get any mortared anymore.
So that leads into you not being mortared for 2 days.
Oh, well, that doesn't lead into that. They would vary up their tactics. They would like...
I like how he's trying to bring the story back to like when they got mortared for 2 days and being promised freedom from like the heavy weights on the third day. It's like, no, this is completely irrelevant to the story from before. No.
Wait a couple days.
Well, the entire reason you told the story is because you started off telling another story about how you...
I got that real ADHD.
I know. Now we're going back to that story where you didn't have to wear armor on the third day.
Well, if we don't get mortared by midnight tonight, then we don't have to wear flak vests and Kevlar anytime you go outside anymore.
Which seems poorly thought out, but anyway.
It does seem poorly thought out, and also I didn't really...
You didn't like to wear flak and Kevlar.
I didn't want to wear my flak vest and Kevlar anywhere, and I also kind of just wanted to die.
Oh my God! What the heck? I'm sorry for laughing, but like, what the fuck? How do you just go like, I just wanted to die? What did they do to the poor man that he's so desensitized to it? This is how we cope, by going whatever? Whatever. Oh my God. Oh. That is one way to cope, honestly. That is one way to cope. This man suffered in Fort Polk. It's normal for those serving there. Oh my God. Oh my God. To potentially die comes with a... Yeah, I mean, yes. Like, I completely understand that the moment you sign up, right? You kind of have this being prepared to die, right? But it's different from like being prepared to die and like wanting to die. He's like, there's always a chance that you will die, yeah. But he was like, I just wanted to die, man, at that point.
So I was like, whatever, if a mortar lands right next to me, I'm already fucking dead anyway. Why am I wearing this crap?
How much does it actually help to wear that with a mortar landing next to you? Like, I actually don't know just how much it would help you.
Just what? I don't care. I mean, yeah, if a mortar landed like 50 meters away from me, I could still get hit with a chunk of shrapnel and die. The flak vest would have stopped. Anyway.
I see.
So we're just like sitting there like watching the clock, waiting for midnight to roll around. 11:51, mortars start dropping and just like, God, I don't want to wear this thing anymore.
I have a feeling he was more pissed at having to wear his protective equipment than actually being mortared. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, God. It kind of reminds me of the whole safety seatbelt debate that people have. It's like, God fucking damn it, I have to like take it off and put it on every time I get in the car, and I have to like get out of the car like 50 times. Do you know how annoying it is to do that movement every time? Oh, it kind of reminds me of that.
Stupid flak vest keeping me alive!
I'm so hot!
Stupid vest! How dare you keep me alive? How dare you do your job?
Hot!
So uncomfortable. I would go days without eating because it was too hot to go out to the dining facility.
Oh my God.
I would just be sitting there and be like, it's time to go get food. I'm just gonna eat some Pop-Tarts and drink some water. It's fine.
Oh,
it's
Jesus
too hot to go to the
Christ,
dining facility.
man.
I'm not putting all that crap back on.
I do have to question, it's like, why don't they have personnel that handles giving people food in like where they're usually at so that people don't have to go out and do that? It's like, I wonder if it's less efficient that way, or if we do. Then why do they have to go to the dining facility in that heat? It kind of sounded better to not. Yeah, food delivery to the barracks, exactly. I don't know. It's food for thought. You gotta eat in the mess hall. Why? Why? That's the part that I don't get. Like, why? Why can't you have someone that's in charge of food delivery? You can't eat in the barracks to mold and rodent. Huh. Interesting. Think of it as a bra but dialed up to 100 all day, every day. I mean, a lot of women actually have bras that are not comfortable. Texas. Like, I have a perfect fit bra. I love wearing that thing. I can't feel it at all. But I wore a bad bra once, and like you feel it punching into your ribs and everywhere, and just being super uncomfortable. So like the most imperfect fit, I can understand. Like not wanting to wear it. Like if a vest feels like that, I can totally understand. Though I think after 12 hours of wearing it, you don't feel that comfortable anymore. You kind of get used to it.
Oh,
anyway.
Yeah, if you have to put all your gear on to go eat, I guess.
God damn it, chat. I'm not. I was talking about wearing a bra at one point, not right now. God damn it, chat. God damn it. Stop checking for bras. You don't always have to wear a bra. I'm not under fire. There's no mortar.
Oh, it was miserable. Anyway. We're getting word every day, and I'm tired of having to get out of bed and go sit in the hallway. And we got these Kevlar blankets sitting at the motor pool.
They're very comfortable to lay on, I assume.
Not really.
No.
Why would they be comfortable?
They're quite thick. It'd be like laying on a big leather pad.
Which,
like,
yeah.
I mean, I did that in gym class. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Fun is not comfortable. Fun is definitely not comfortable. Better than the floor.
It'd be better than sleeping straight on the ground,
guess.
but they don't have a whole lot of give to them.
Gotcha.
And I'm looking at these blankets, and the old wheels start a-turning.
Oh, boy.
So I grab like 2 of these Kevlar blankets and just drag them all the way back to my barracks room.
Okay.
I take one of the blankets, and I make a handle for it out of duct tape. Like a big pull handle.
Okay.
And then the other blanket, I shove it in between the mattress and the bed frame.
Okay.
So we start getting mortared that night. I grab the handle and I pull the Kevlar blanket up over myself.
Oh, myself.
Thus cocooning me inside a giant Kevlar pod.
That seems terrifying.
It's quite comfy, actually.
I know for you, Mr. I love being compressed in an MRI machine. It might not seem terrifying to you, but the prospect of it not opening back up is kind of horrific.
Oh, no, because literally I could just push the Kevlar blanket off me.
Yeah, unless the building got mortared and then rubble fell on you.
Yeah, but then I'm dead. If the building...
Like, if rubble falls on you, you're kind of dead anyway. Like, you're gonna have a claustrophobic attack anyway. Yeah, he turned into a metapod. That is beautiful.
got mortared and it collapsed on me, I'm dead anyway, so what do I care?
I'd rather be mortared than buried and trapped in my Kevlar cocoon.
That wasn't really a concern for me, because it basically would just be like if you got in a really thick sleeping bag.
Okay.
It pretty much is the same thing. Just imagine it's a sleeping bag, but it's a bulletproof sleeping bag.
Bulletproof
Yeah,
sleeping
or an
bag.
EOD suit without legs or sleeves. You're just sitting in
I
your
love
little
that.
Kevlar burrito.
Burrito.
So
I love that for him, and at the same time, oh Jesus Christ, turning himself into Metapod.
oh yeah, I also forgot that I put my helmet on.
Oh
I put on
my
helmet
God.
and then pulled all this other stuff over me, and just went right back to sleep. So they're coming down the hallway. Everyone, get in the hallway! Get in the hallway! They're just like pounding on the doors. Platoon sergeant's like, "Where's Hazard? Where's Hazard at?" And my squad leader goes like running down there, like pushes open my door and shines a flashlight in there, and just sees this olive green Kevlar burrito with a helmet poking out of the top of it. And he goes, "Oh, Hazard's fine," and just closes the door.
It's fine. Just someone just sees you and goes like, yeah, everything's okay there. We don't talk about that. He's fine, safer than us, yeah. Oh, would have been funny if he went, he's fine, and then closed himself in there and just kind of like went under the burrito himself. Be like, hi.
The things you get used to.
He's like, "Oh, he's fine." He's probably safer than all of us. What the fuck?
And then 2 hours later, he emerges a beautiful
Oh.
Kevlar butterfly.
With Kevlar wings. Pin me to your corkboard now, Mr. Scientist. I've actually slept through several mortar attacks because the only
I've not damaged your sense of humor is. Oh my God. Oh. Oh, beautiful. No, I think my sense of humor is perfectly fine. I'm totally not easily amused, not at all.
reason that I woke up was because someone came and like kicked my door open
Oh.
and was like, "Get in the hallway, we're getting mortared!" And I'm just like, Again? Can we not?
God, I hate war
Fine.
so much.
We're so
Again. Oh, can you imagine you get so used to being mortared that you're just like, oh, come on, not again. They're like 5 minutes early today. What the heck?
When they said war is hell, I didn't know they meant I wouldn't be able to sleep. That's one of the reasons that I sleep so much. Well, Gulf War syndrome is the other one, but
Oof.
being exposed to burn pits has permanently ruined my brain.
We have many different reasons why.
Ruined my brain. That's another word for depressed. Oh man.
You like to sleep.
I love sleep. Sleep is amazing. But
Sleep
yeah, I
is
slept through mortar
amazing.
attacks straight up. So I got so used to being mortared that I would like when I hear the incoming siren, it's like, all right, fuck, whatever. I start like slowly walking to the bunker because the bunker's like 20 feet away. I can get there in time. It's
I
gonna
guess
be fine.
it'll protect me. Ugh.
Whatever, it'll protect me. And it's just like, they don't hit me. Literally, the joke is like, they can't hit anything anyway. They keep blowing up the soccer field, and there's never anybody out there, so who cares? What's gonna happen? Are they gonna get like 1 foot closer to me than yesterday? So like slowly walk into the bunker, stop to light up a cigarette.
What do you mean you stopped to light up a cigarette? This guy, man. This fucking guy. What do you mean? Where are your priorities?
As I'm trying to light the cigarette, one lands like within 100 meters of me, and I'm just instantly like, "Ah!" run into
Oh
the
my
bunker.
The
God.
fear of God in you.
Yeah. It's just like that happens to so many people too. It's just you get so complacent about just like whatever. Nobody cares about mortars until a mortar lands within 100 meters of you, and you just like scream like a little girl and dive to the nearest bunker.
Oh my God.
We're
I kind of like want to facepalm. I want to facepalm and kind of like, You know, like. But at the same time, he's not wrong. Like, if something happens to you enough times, you just go, it is what it is. It's not gonna happen to me. Like, there's like, you kind of get used to it, right? It just goes,
Or is mundane until it's not.
It really is. It's real goofy.
I don't think I ever saw the unarmored Humvees.
You know, I've never heard someone say that war is goofy. That's a first. That is definitely a first. But at the same time, I can understand it from his perspective and all the stories. And all the stories and all the weird shit you go through and like your personal experience. I can understand it.
By the time I had joined a few years later, everything was armored.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, at that point, they had just armored the hell out of everything.
I'll tell you what, slamming your fingers in a car door ain't fun, but slamming your fingers in an armored Humvee?
Yeah, I think that happened to one of the people in our unit. They legitimately lost a chunk of their finger.
Yeah, that's some serious damage.
It just went...
No, I don't want to hear it.
No, that's not a good image.
If I recall
That's
correctly,
not
one of
a
the problems is a
good
lot of
image.
Humvees had like a magnesium armor, which magnesium armor is really lightweight. It can handle a good amount. The problem is if it catches fire, that shit burns so fucking fast.
Yeah.
And you cannot put it out. When we were there, they had these new fire suppression
Jesus
systems they put in the
Christ.
Humvee. It had like sensors on the inside of the Humvee.
Had a sprinkler on the inside.
Kinda, yeah.
Are you for real? Oh my god. What am I hearing? Like, what did the engineers smoke, man? What is this video? I know, right?
It was like a dry chemical fire extinguisher. So there's multiple types of fire extinguishers you can
Oh
get.
my
One of the
God.
fire extinguishers they used to use in military vehicles was a Halo fire extinguisher, which is real fucking bad because Halo is a oxygen remover.
Oh, so we're gonna suffocate the soldiers so they don't burn.
Yeah,
What were they smoking? Oh my god. Dude, I have tears from both laughing and wanting to cry. Like, I have tears in my eyes right now. And I'm just like, what were they smoking? What the fuck were they thinking? Like, who's an engineer for the army and goes like, oh, people inside that are stuck and they can't get out? Yeah, let's just take their oxygen too. What the fuck, man?
basically it's you have to try to get everybody out of the vehicle first and then deploy the Halo fire extinguisher. The only problem with that is some of these fire extinguishers, the handle for it was on the outside, and if you knew where it was, you could just run up to a military vehicle
Oh
and pull
my
the Halo
God.
thing and suffocate everyone inside the vehicle.
Why would you bitch, man? Who thought about that design? What the fuck? Bruh! I'm like, what is wrong with I want to laugh, but I want to cry. I'm like, why? Why would you do that?
So
That is
I was out of the
terrifying.
convoy at one point, and we were waiting to go somewhere, so we were just stopped. We were all like lying.
Engineer? What? I would drag that engineer out. Like, I would literally hunt him down, find out who the fuck it was that made that creation, put him inside the Humvee, and then go, I now hold the power outside of the vehicle to kill you. How does it fucking feel? I'm not even kidding. I'd be like, how does it feel, motherfucker? How does it feel? Do you like it? Do you like this feeling? Like, It's like, why are you an engineer, man? You're not supposed to make something that's like that.
Up, getting ready to roll out, and one of the vehicles is just sitting there.
Jesus.
And then I just see, poof, this like white mushroom cloud goes shooting out the turret, and all the doors open, and everyone just, just comes out of the vehicle. They come out just completely covered in white powder.
How did that go off?
One of them was sitting in there smoking, and he took a drag off the cigarette, and then he held the cigarette too close to the
Of course, someone's smoking would trigger the sprinkler system. Oh. That's hilarious, man.
fire suppression system, and it saw the bright red glow of the cigarette and went, "Oh fuck, the whole vehicle's on fire!" and just fumigated off the entire thing. So they were just all standing there, like it looked like someone threw a bag of flour in their face. It was like, "What happened?"
The fact that they're using that dumb guy image is also triggering my laughter more. Pause, do you see why I'm a little bit quotation mark special? No, I think you're normal, Texas. I don't know what that says about me, man. But I think you're normal.
Goodness.
It was so funny because obviously
I have
they needed
tears in
help.
my
They needed
eyes.
someone to like pour water on them or just something.
But you're all too busy laughing.
Everyone is standing there laughing and laughing at them.
I mean, honestly, I would stand, point, and laugh at them as well. I'm gonna be honest. This is both hilarious and also like kind of wholesome and worrying at the same time. And I just like, it's amazing. Oh man,
Funniest shit.
absolutely unhinged.
We got an
We can drama bond. Oh my god, Tex.
personnel carrier into our motor pool at one point because apparently there weren't any tracked vehicle repairmen nearby.
And you were working on it because it's a small gun?
No, I was working on it because I didn't have anything else to do. And it was a little tank, and I thought it would be fun.
Okay.
I know it's not actually a tank. Oh my god, a 113 isn't a tank. Whatever. It has tracks. I was like, oh my god, it's a tank.
An AP is a tank, as far as I care.
It isn't really, but whatever. Anyway, we got this 113 in, and it needed just some
Okay.
various things done to it. It needed like the transmission serviced, and it needed like the handle repaired on the door on the back of it. Some other stuff fixed. Because basically what they were doing is they were using it as a gate guard vehicle. There's the gate that you would normally drive through.
Right.
And what they would do is
Okay.
they would park the little armored personnel carrier sideways in front of the gate.
In case anyone tried to
To
ram through the-
prevent-
Yeah, basically in case someone tried to
someone-
ram through the
okay.
gate, because now you have to get through an entire
Makes
armored
sense.
vehicle. So yeah, they like needed some various things fixed on it. So I like found the manual for it and started helping to try to replace stuff. And
Why
I got to
is
drive it
someone
around.
got to drive it around? Like, why is he in charge of fixing it? Isn't he like specializing in gun repair? How do you just take someone that works with guns and go like a gun, a car, same thing, right?
a bunch. Which, you know how normally on like an automatic transmission, when you grab the little handle, it says like PRND1. This one it was like PRP D D2 L Q Japanese sign for fire.
The second P is probably R, but like the leg
Oh
is
my
shaved
god.
off or
Well,
something.
no, it wasn't shaved off, but I do specifically remember that there was one that said P. That was not park. And the reason I know it wasn't park is because I got in the tank to move it. There was nothing else in the motor pool. We had made sure that all the other vehicles were away from this one.
Oh my
because,
Weird, huh?
Because none of us actually knew how to drive the armored personnel carrier.
I see.
How did it get there in the first place? What? No one knows how to drive it. They just left no one that's able to drive it. This is mind baffling. My brain is short circuiting. The more I listen to these campfire stories about the army and his time in the army, the more my brain is just trying really hard not to catch on fire from all the illogical, weird shit happening. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck?
See.
So I get in the little armed personnel carrier. I figure out how to start it, which is pretty simple, honestly.
It makes you want to join up. I think I would rather die. It sounds absolutely like I could never, like, I would not be a yes man, woman, whatever. I'd not be a yes person. So I don't think we'd gel very well. And trust me, I worked in companies. I have no problem with rank and order and respecting your seniors and taking orders and doing what you're told, right? I'm perfectly fine with that. Hearing these stories makes me not want to be. I'm okay with just doing whatever. Especially not when my life is on the line.
There's just a big knob that says start, and you turn it. So I get in there. What's P?
start.
You put it in P, press the gas pedal, and it goes wow, and does a 180.
It turns around.
It just starts spinning in place. Turns out P stands for pivot.
Pivot. Oh,
P
okay.
stands
Yeah,
for
P is pivot,
pivot.
not park.
I'm glad that's not confusing at all.
No, not at all confusing. Anyway, yeah, I figured out how to drive it. It was really cool. It was, man, I had so much fun driving that little armored personnel carrier around.
Once you figured out how it worked.
Yeah.
P for pivot, R for
pivot,
run people over, D for don't move. Yeah, that all makes sense.
Do you know what tankers call infantry?
Crunchies.
Yeah, crunchies.
You've told me.
What?
Yeah, I had
Oh man, no, why? Oh, I know why. I can imagine why they're called crunches, but I don't wanna. Why are you putting that in my brain? Take that image out.
man, that thing was so much fun to drive around.
Oh.
You didn't tell me you drove a tank and an APC.
Well, it is an APC.
You said you also drove a tank.
That's what I. Oh. Yeah, no, I drove.
I like how he's now like having a
Remembering all the
moment.
things you've driven.
I had that brain problem again. Yes, I have driven an
ADHD.
M1 Abrams and I have driven a armored personnel carrier.
Okay.
The M1 Abrams, it wasn't for very long. It was for like, I don't know, maybe a minute.
A
You were parking
minute?
it.
Yeah, basically. I still have that.
I like how he took the badge of honor, man. He's like, I drove a tank for a minute to park it. I still drove it, bitch. I love that.
Image. I saw that picture somewhere of me driving
I love that.
sitting in the armored personnel carrier,
It's like
trying
a couch.
trying not to grin like an idiot.
Just take a selfie of yourself in an APC.
No, somebody else took a picture of me.
all right.
But yeah, it's just a photo of me in an APC trying not to grin like an idiot because I'm super happy. I'm even wearing like the combat vehicle crewman helmet. I got like that whole thing on with like the headphones. I'm like, yay, this is fun.
Well, I'm
Oh
glad
my
every
God.
experience you had was fun over there.
I'm honestly happy for him that, like, despite all the shit that's kind of like traumatizing and like PTSD inducing and God knows traumatizing, right? He still has these stories where you just kind of think about stuff and you can smile and be like still happy and giddy about shit. Yeah, exactly. While being traumatized, he still managed to have some fun. I'll take that. Oh, it sounds wrong, but you know, it's better than just being traumatized. Oh, God. It is wild to me, honestly. The fact that he went through so much shit like that. It's wild. I understand, like, I know that as a military person, even like higher up in the ranks, right? You still have to follow order, you still have to follow procedure, and you still have to respect all the things that you have to go for, like all the paperwork, all the things that don't make any sense, right? I completely get that. Hence why I'm saying I don't think I could end up doing it, because some things are just, you look at them and they're like, why is it like that? And some things I'd honestly scratch my head and be like, what the heck is happening? You make do, like, what I'm getting from these stories is that the people there, they make do with scraps and they make do with whatever the shit they were given, and they don't complain, they make it work, right? Which is showing resilience and creativity, and it makes me respect them more. But it also like tells me just how fucking bad it is when you have people that don't know anything about what's happening design and lead you and give you like orders and equipment. Like that engineer in particular, right? Like that one engineer that designed it like that. You have to like just stop and be like, what the fuck, man? Oh, like, it's sad. It is very sad. It is infuriatingly sad as well. Hence why I don't think I'd be able to do that. I don't think I'd be able to just make do and be like, whatever, it's my reality. Right? I already do that for my life, for my situation, for my things, right? I already make do with what I have and do the best with it. Like most people, I assume, right? But, you know, having your life put on the line while having to do that is next level.